So you're gonna need some haunted house tiles for a game set at Halloween. Got you covered. Hello and welcome to the Battling Barrow and another Halloween month video. In this we are going to build some haunted house tiles. I am going to make these as generic as possible, but hopefully they can be used in such things as the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh, the Ghost on Harrow Hill from the AD&D 2nd edition introductory box set, and more importantly for a game that I'll be playing soon, hopefully, from the Curse of Strahd book Death House. My friend Liam, who is a player in my campaign, will be running it as a DM, and I've not been a player pretty much since about the 80s. I've always been the DM, so I think I've only been a player a few times, so I'm looking forward to it. So what I've had to do is have a quick look at the Death House map without paying too much attention to it, just to get an idea for the sort of tiles that will be required, the sort of sizes, how many squares wide by squares long I'm going to need to at least set up a good approximation of that setup for him to use. Very difficult, as I said, because I don't want to spoil anything for myself. So that's what I've done. So in this video, we're going to be making some floor tiles, which can be really easy. You've seen these done loads of times before, and it's just not much. There's no different in technique here. We're making some new doors because we want wooden house doors, and we are going to be making some rugs and some stairs. So let us begin the craft. Let's do the easy bit and make the tiles. These are going to be made in exactly the same way as I made the floors to the modular houses, so it's just XPS foam cut off onto different shapes and sizes that I've already planned earlier. And all it is a case of every quarter of an inch putting a line down with a pen. When that's done, give it a wire brush in, put your floorboard holes in, and so you end up with textured bits like this, and then we just paint them the same way as those floors too. Bay windows, take a strip that is 2 tile lengths wide and about 1 thick. So in my case, made it an inch here, but it's 2.5 inches wide. Come in, measure 1/2 inch from the top, and go from corner to that point, corner to that point, and draw in a floorboard grid, texture it, and then just cut it out. Like so on both sides. And when you attach that to a room tile we've just made, that represents a bay window, so players would know where a window is in your room. On to the doors. In the past we've made these, and we of course could use these again, but these are more for dungeons and castles. The door frame is brick and stone, which I don't really want, and the door itself is round at the top, don't want that either, and it looks like a door you'd find in a dungeon or castle. I want a wooden door and a wooden door frame, and I want it to look more like a sort of household door, haunted house door. So for this, I'm going to make it out of chipboard. I'm going to cut a bit that is 1.25 inches wide and 1.75 inches high. So it's just a bit smaller than the actual height of the dungeon doors. I'm going to take 2 of those. My idea is to sandwich these together for thickness. And then I'm going to take a bit of cereal box cards, or thinner card. I'm going to have to trim it up a bit. And then what I've done is I've already pre-worked out the size of the squares that I want. And I am going to trace around these, draw around these. Like so, just quickly. And another one here, and what I will do is cut that out So I end up with something like this, and I'll keep this and use this to then, so it makes it easier just to trace round. So cut those out, and then I'll stick these on either side of the door. So I end up with a door about that thick, which is great, and we have little wooden indents there, which is perfect. So I'm going to make about 1 billion of these. Doors done. Well, apart from the handles, we'll do that in a bit, but first the door frame. For this I'm going to use some of this lovely, cheap, and possibly rapidly becoming my favourite building material that I bought by accident, paperless foam board. It's brilliant for this because it just takes detail really well. So I'm going to take a bit that is about 1/4 inch bigger, and just slightly bigger than 1/4 inch at the top, just because I wanted a bit of extra detail than the door. Anyway, so it's bigger than the door. Trace around it like so, and then going to cut that out. Like so, with a crafting tool, sculpting tool, I'm just going to draw a line from the edge of the corner of the door to the corner of the frame, just to give a door frame. And this is where this stuff is great for taking texture, wire. Ooh. And then on the horizontal, and that, both sides. Door frame done, and like the previous doors, off camera I will be putting it onto a little chipboard base, but there's no need to show you that. Gonna need a door knob knocker handle thing. For this I'm just gonna use a blob of green stuff. Could of course use the ringlets we've used for the dungeon doors, but I prefer this sort of look. Take a little blob. Hopefully it will stick to the door rather than you. Oh, sort of round blob there. I shall do one side at a time to let them dry. Just quickly, double doors are made in pretty much the same way, and they're going to look like that. I'm going to have ringlets on, so it's going to be more like for the front doors or entrances to a grand hall, so I think that's more appropriate. I've created these rugs on a PDF. This will be available to patrons. I'm going to print this out on some an A4 label, printed sticky label, which I shall do now. When they're printed out, they'll look like this, and we've just got to cut them out. You cut them out and stick them on some chipboard, but now we've got to protect them, and so for this, I'm going to get some matte Mod Podge and just basically paint it on somewhat carefully, because you don't want to reactivate the printer ink, and also that is what we're protecting from happening anyway, in case that gets spilt on it. So try and do it in one pass. That's very bad, one pass, but so come in. And just cover them all and allow them to dry. Spiral stairs. So I worked out this as a template. So this is an inch wide here, inch long, and this is an inch long. And these bits are arbitrary, doesn't really matter what they are, just whatever looks good. And a little nubbin on there to help assembly. Now I'll use this to trace around. I'm going to do 8 steps, I think. 8 steps of foam board, which I will texture, which I've done here. Glue gun bit on there. I'm going to glue 2 steps at a time, and probably use another bit of foam board underneath just to help when I'm gluing, something like that. They will also have some side panels attached to this side. For this, again, it's an arbitrary height here, but this height is that height plus what height of the thickness of foam, so that when they both go together, difficult to show, I'm gluing them like this and this, that this slope will match up. Hopefully that's explained it. And there'll be a bit of a crack here as it sort of spirals around, but I can live with that. It's not too bad. So what I'm going to do now is assemble this 2 steps at a time, and then glue it all together. And that'll be the spiral steps for a house, and it'll be painted up brown. And when it's all glued together, it will look like this. I have put 2 little bits of dowel on there just to hold it in place. I've got to paint it still. It will go like this. The underneath is a complete mess of hot glue and rough cuts, but no one's going to see that. We're just going to look at it sort of like this. I'm going to paint it now, paint it brown, and the same way as I've done the floor, really. That's the spiral stairs. The next stairs are going to be straightforward and easy. They're just standard set of straight stairs. You've probably seen me do stairs loads of times now, but I'll go over it quickly just in case. After the spiral stairs, straight stairs are going to be dead easy. I've made plenty of straight stairs before. The only difference is I'm going to be putting a wood grain pattern onto these. I'm going to start with a bit of foam with a wood grain pattern in that is a 1-inch square, and come in with one that is 1 inch. They're all going to be 1 inch wide, and it's going to be a 1/4 inch wider. And I'm going to do a series of these. So just like the spiral steps, these are going to be 8 steps. And what I've done is just on the end, just done a wood grain texture at the end piece, because they're going to be glued on top of each other, and I've done it on the front here. And obviously the top step has to have it all the way along. So all I'm going to do now is glue these together, one on top of each other, before putting some side panels on. And for the side panels, just take a bit of foam and have it 1/4 inch, mark up 1/4 inch higher up here, 1/4 inch up here, and a 1/4 inch coming down on the angle. Like that. Cut that out, trace it, for you're going to need one on each side, wood grain it up, stick it together, and then get painting. So okay, for the stairs going down, you can repeat the process I've shown a few times on videos before where I've made stairs, or you can do what I've done here, and I've just taken a picture of the stairs in question, added a bit of light effect to them, and made them into a PDF. And what I'm going to do now is print them out on paper, much the same way as the rugs, stick them onto some chipboard and Mod Podge them to protect them, and that's stairs going down. And this PDF will be available for patrons. And that's the stairs done. Well, okay, all the pieces are made and it's almost ready to use, but what about decoration? Sure, we've got the rugs, but what else? Well, have you not been watching the channel? For the past few years we've been making lots of little tiny scatter pieces that are gonna be perfect for this. We've made some beds that you can put in the upper floors if you need to, and this is just the start, by the way. We're going to make some other furniture soon afterwards so you can decorate it. If the camera can focus, that will be lovely. So yeah, we got beds. What about some bookcases? We already got those made, didn't we? We made some bookcases. So these can be put on to used in the tiles. What about if we need a some sort of study area with a desk? We got that made, didn't we? Made one of those so we can use that. What about a fireplace? Yep. We've made one of those, haven't we? And of course, those also light up, so you can use that. What about if we want to get a little bit spooky and perhaps have some evil people in there that are performing some rituals that they shouldn't. For that, we're going to need an altar. Or perhaps this is an altar for someone who's trying to cleanse the evil of the house, and it's a holy altar. But we've got it. Okay, what about, let's get a bit more creepy, a bit more scary. What about if there was some sort of torture rack hanging there? Guess what? We got it. And just recently, if you want to go down into a crypt, we got coffins we made. Also, as well, in the tower piece we made for a B10 module, we made these, didn't we? These can also be used for such a situation as what we got. So you've already got all this stuff that you could decorate your house with, and now I think we should see some of the tiles set up in a little sort of haunted house arrangement. Before we do so though, I'd like to take the time to thank you for watching and liking and commenting. In the comments down below, leave any suggestions or anything you want to see made, any bits of furniture you want to see made. I've got a few ideas, a few simple things like wardrobes. My intent when I started this many years ago was to remake all the Hero Quest furniture, so I still want to make the cupboards and a few other bits and pieces from that. But yeah, if you want to see any little bits made, let me know down below in the comments. But yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for supporting the channel. Till the next video guys, stay safe, take care.